to ask him about the next season.
I hope he brings his sonic screwdriver.
It's 5 minutes to showtime.
All right, yeah!
Exterminate!
Run!
You will be exterminated! Exterminate! Maximum extermination! Exterminate!
Exterminate him!
Yeah!
Thanks a lot, guys.
Come on!
Good thing the TARDIS just happened to be there.
We just stepped out of the TARDIS. How cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Should we have a seat?
My goodness.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to this very special edition of InnerSpace. We have an amazing group here from Doctor Who, and we can't wait for you to all meet them.
Now, it's been over a year since we've had any new Who, so we fans are very excited to talk to our guests.
Very excited indeed. And you in the audience will also have a chance to ask your questions. But first, do you want to meet your guests? Let's get them out here. Please welcome the Doctor himself, Peter Capaldi. New companion, Pearl Mackie. Showrunner, Steven Moffat. And exec producer, Brian Minchin. Give it up for him. Woohoo!
Well,
Hi, guys.
welcome to Canada, everybody.
Great to be here.
It is so awesome to have you here. And obviously, Doctor Who co-created by a Canadian, Sidney Newman, back in the 60s, so especially apropos. We're going to have a lot of time in the next hour to get specific, including about season 10. But to kick this off, let's start at the most general level possible. And I know it's a question all of you have gotten before, but I think as fans, we're especially interested in your perspectives on it. The series obviously started in 1963. Why do you think it continues to have the appeal it has? Why is it a series that we as fans keep coming back to, do you think?
Well, I think everybody's got a different answer to this.
Yeah.
Because I think ultimately people's relationship with the show is very personal.
Right.
So although, you know, the word fan is often used to describe a great community of people who love the show, they don't all love it for exactly the same reason. I think its appeal lies in it has a sort of magical quality.
Right.
Although it's a sci-fi show, there's also an element of the fairy tale about it for me. And also I grew up with it. So it's difficult really for me to articulate what it was that really grabbed me, but it was there from when I was like 5 years old.
What about you, Pearl?
I think one of the things about it for me is with all the sci-fi stuff, with all the aliens, all the amazing special effects, I think there's a lot of heart in the show. I think, you know, it's a lot of the time it is about the characters and how they relate to each other and you know, how they kind of use what they have to kind of, you know, fight the aliens and you know.
And it's perpetually optimistic in its
Yeah.
point of view.
I think so. I mean, I think that I guess the regeneration as well has something to do with that keeps it kind of fresh, you know, because where you've got a show that, you know, has it's an established format, you know, it's a show that people love, but the regeneration kind of allows it to be, you know, refreshed every couple of years, which I think is a great way to kind of...
Every couple of years?
Every couple of years.
And he's not ready.
Steven, what a mark you've left on the show. How about Steven Moffat and what he's done for the series? You're a lifelong fan as well, so why do you keep coming back to the show?
Well, they pay me. No,
that helps.
I'm honestly glad you asked. Look. We could get complicated in this, but it is actually the best thing ever. Seriously. It's about an incredibly clever man from space with a phone box that's bigger on the inside than the outside, and that would be enough to be the best thing ever.
Yes.
But it also goes anywhere and in space and time. Now, that means our precinct for Doctor Who is everywhere and everything that ever happened. Compare this to the format of any other television show. Vets in love, hang your heads in shame. We can do anything, and we actually do anything, often several times.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know why the rest of telly shows up compared to this.
It's true. Brian, why do you love being a part of it?
I just think it's the most imaginative show you could work on. The stories we get to tell, I think the character of a doctor and a companion are some of the most genius creations, and it challenges us, because we've all grown up loving it, challenges us to try and recreate that experience, to try and make new stories as good as the ones we grew up with, and that's a really special thing to be part of.
Cool.
Well, it's a special thing for all of us that are here, and it's so great for you to join us all from, you know, so far away, because we have such a passionate fan base, and many of them are here in the crowd, so I think maybe we should turn things over to the audience. We have someone with a question for our panel right here in the front row. Hello.
Hi there. My name's Chrissy, huge fan. My question is for Peter. I know that the series has traveled to the States with the Impossible Astronaut. My question is, if you could do an episode here in Canada, whereabouts in Canada would you like to do it? And are you looking for a tour guide for an episode or two?
Hi, Christina. I think Niagara Falls, probably, because it's such an incredible landmark. And I haven't seen it in movies or on TV for quite a while. There was a period when it seemed to be at the end. It seemed to be the climax of almost every American detective show, but it hasn't been around for a while, so I think it's time we went there,
Bring that back. I like that idea.
You can get a lot of trinkets in Niagara Falls, too.
All right, well, we have another question from a fan named Christine. It's one we picked up at this year's Fan Expo right here in Toronto. Check it out.
My question is for Peter Capaldi. What is your favorite Doctor Who episode ever, whether it be while you're the Doctor or with somebody else?
Oh, that's a terrible question, because there's so many Doctor Who episodes that I love. To be honest, if any episode of Doctor Who comes on, I will sit and watch it right to the end. If I'm flicking through TV, and my wife thinks I'm really sad because I play Doctor Who, and I will still go, oh, it's the Sea Devils episode. So I'll just watch this until and she wants to change it. I said, let's just watch this to the end. But I love, I mean, there's so many episodes. There are many, many very old episodes that I won't watch. Because they exist in my memory and in my imagination with great power. And I think to actually watch them would reduce their impact. The Web Planet's a bit like that for me, because when you see the Web Planet, you see it provokes laughter among people, and they think it's, you know... But in fact, when I saw it the first time, I was a child, and I was absolutely intrigued and... taken by these strange creatures that they had. Now, I know I look at them now and they're made of fiberglass and felt. And the Zarbi bashes into the camera and all kind of things go wrong. But at the time, when you watch it as a child in a little flickering monochrome TV set in the corner of your room in a dark Glaswegian tenement, it's just fabulous. It's magical. So I want to keep that magic alive. So I love many, many episodes.
Really don't watch it, Peter. Really don't.
All right, well, stay with us, because we got a special treat coming up for you in just a bit. Plus, we'll have more with our very awesome guests. You don't want to miss it. And Whovians to InnerSpace presents Doctor Who. We are, of course, joined by the Doctor himself, Peter Capaldi, a new companion, Pearl Mackie, showrunner, Steven Moffat, and exec producer, Brian Minchin.
And off the top of the show, you might have saw us, we were walking out of the TARDIS, which is always such a cool thing. We had the 50th anniversary special, and we had a TARDIS on our set and got to step out of it back then as well. And it occurred to me that it's such an iconic part of television history, and so few actors have had the chance to actually step out of the TARDIS on screen. I was like, well, it's not officially Doctor Who, but it's still a pretty cool thing for us.
You're not the Doctor, buddy.
No, I know. But for you, Peter, you are the Doctor, and you grew up loving the Doctor, so what was that first moment like when you got to, you know, step out of the TARDIS or step into the TARDIS as the Doctor?
Well, it's quite strange, really, because it's very... I mean, for me, it was more or less my first day. And it was... first of all, you're horrified to see there's like 200 people there looking at you, and they're all expecting to see the new Doctor Who emerge from the TARDIS. And you get in the TARDIS, and not to disappoint anyone, but it's not bigger on the inside. It's
what?
We experienced that.
It's a little and it's a little tattier, and also there's a props bloke standing there, you know, with a smoke machine, and there's not much space, and you have to just conjure up your confidence and step. And I remember, in fact, I looked over. Steven was sitting at the monitors, because they have a monitor screen where they can watch what we're about to shoot. And he obviously knew the importance of this moment. So he gave me a little smile, and I just did that to him, and then went and just got on with it. So you just get in and you come out and you're Doctor Who and you get on with it.
Wow,
it's wonderful. But I have to say, these things, police boxes, are sure are a mystery really to most people. But when I was a child, they were actually in the street. At the end of our street, they had one of these, and it was where. In those days, there were no mobile phones, and there weren't even great many police cars. So there were policemen who were on the beat. They walked around the neighbourhood. And so at various points in the neighbourhood, they would have a box like this, where they would probably have a kettle and cups of tea and their sandwiches, but also a phone, because there wasn't phones for people in the neighbourhood to phone up. And I've just given you a very boring history of the police box.
Visual.
But now you know where it comes from.
I just love the visual of you in there with Tom from the lighting department eating a sandwich. Hey, Tom, what's up?
I always think we should have an electric fire, and it gets very cold. You take it out. You take it out on occasion. And also, they remove the back of it sometimes in order to put a transparency of the interior, and the wind really comes through it, and it's quite chilly.
Well, we are all very, very excited for season 10 of Doctor Who. So we want to know a little bit, you know, what you can tell us. Obviously, at the end of season 9, the Doctor lost all memories of Clara. So are we going to see a bit of a different Doctor picking up in this new season? Is he going to evolve at all?
Hopefully he will evolve in the way that people will be interested in. He's clearly been through a lot. He's been through a lot in his life. I'm never sure how significant the events are in every season to the Doctor's state of mind. Because that suggests that he's operating at a kind of temporal level that's a human temporal level, whereas I think he's probably on a wider, kind of more cosmic sort of scale. So I think in some ways he's moved on, but he has this the fabulous injection of Pearl, who plays Bill, who comes into the show and brings a whole new vibe, a whole new energy and drama and fun to it. And that, I think that makes him respond very differently, because Pearl is so different.
Oh, I can't wait. Are you excited to meet Bill, new companion? Well, we know you can't go into spoiler territory, but how does the introduction of Bill change the Doctor when we first meet her with him?
I don't know if it changes him so much as you start seeing him through a new pair of eyes.
Right.
And that's the interesting thing. I mean, we do not neglect entirely what he's been through, but as Peter says, fundamentally, what the Doctor does is move on. He just moves on. He moves on always. That's his mission in life. But when she comes in, it's more that, particularly the way, which we're not telling you, she meets him and the unusual way that relationship develops. Again, a complete mystery to you for months. It enables you to. I think it reminds you of what a strange, mad, lonely, terrifying man he can be.
Right.
When you just break it down to imagine if one day you found out that you knew somebody like the Doctor. He is so frightening. Not so much because he does anything frightening, but you just think, so everything I know about the whole world so far is wrong, and it's all in that blue box. And that's a terrifying thing.
Oh, wow.
Well, here's a challenging question for you, Pearl, considering your bosses are right next to you, and you can't spoil too much. How much can you tell us about Bill? How would you describe her and her relationship with the Doctor, at least when we first meet her?
I think Bill is very... She's quite excitable. She's quite quick-witted. She's quite instinctive. I think she definitely she's got a really big heart, and she often is sort of governed by it, which is good, which can be a positive quality, can be a bit of a negative quality, because she kind of can sort of fly off the handle, you know, in certain, you know, she's not but maybe as tempered as she could be, which I think is a great quality, but also, you know, can get her into a bit of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So.
What's it been like for you working with Peter? Like, be really honest with us.
It's been dreadful. I'm leaving. no, it's been absolutely amazing. It's been so great. On my first day, Peter left me like 2 cards in my trailer. Do you remember this? 2 cards and a candle, a scented candle to welcome me. And no, it was just absolutely lovely, and just said, I mean, I know this is all absolutely mad, but if you ever feel like it's too much, like, here's my number, give me a call if you need anything, you know, I'm here, which was really kind and actually made me feel really like, okay, maybe this is gonna be all right, you know, because my first day, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, we were filming the trailer, and I mean, I thought I'd met everyone, but I mean, I met about 30% of the crew because it was also top secret.
Yeah. Well, we know there's a lot of secrecy around this, so when you were cast or when you were going through the process, it can be some real cloak and dagger stuff, like were there code names, or were you not allowed to say what you were auditioning for when you got the role?
So first of all, my agent put me up for something called Mean Town, which was an anagram of Woman 10, who's me. I'm the 10th companion. Yeah. And then I obviously found out that I was auditioning for Doctor Who to be the new companion, and I laughed heartily down the phone and was like, well, I'm never going to get that job, am I? I was like, right, OK, cool, all right, I'll give it my best shot, but yeah.
OK, this is really cool. You've brought something with you from the set. Is that Peter? Peter, do you have it? You have? Can we see it? The special thing? This is big. It's the new sonic screwdriver!
The real thing?
That's the new sonic screwdriver.
Oh, we can.
Oh, you can touch it? Oh!
I don't want to drop it.
Don't drop it.
Don't drop it.
I won't drop it.
It's the only one we've got.
So,
Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. Steven is staring at me. Okay.
So obviously we met this. The TARDIS shot this at you at the season finale last season of season 9. So I really love it.
I love it. Yeah.
So what did you want to accomplish with the redesign of it? Like, were you kind of harkening back to past sonic screwdrivers, or what did you want to do with it?
We just wanted one specifically for Peter. We decided not to change the screwdriver the first year of Peter.
That's right.
And while I was quite insistent that you don't have to change the screwdriver because you changed the Doctor, on the other hand, I just kept looking at it and thinking that's Matt's screwdriver, specifically designed for Matt's enormous hands, and it just looked slightly odd with Peter. So we got Michael pick one on the case to design a beautiful new one with a hint of TARDIS about it.
Oh yeah! Oh right! It's like got a mini TARDIS.
It's blue and the same colour. Look, it's
What?
disco. Dr. Disco.
This is the moment of the show.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it is. If you want a wedding disco or anything like that, the Doctor and you get the lights and all the music and everything.
And you're good. Yeah.
Wow.
It's got all the music and the lights. Green.
Whoa! Party Doctor.
I love it.
Right, last dance.
Well, that just got a huge reaction from our audience, and I know everybody is so excited to be here. We have such loyal Whovians in our audience, and I know some of you have questions, so we are gonna go back to the audience, and I'm looking at you, lady.
Hello.
Hi.
So my question is for Pearl. Hello. Welcome to the cast on behalf of the fans. I'm wondering, you touched on it a little bit, but did Peter have any memorable advice for you when you joined?
I mean, yeah, mainly like this is all a bit mad, you know. But I think he was very complimentary of what I did in the audition, and
well, she's been. I'm just interrupting to say she's fantastic. You know, and it's a really difficult thing to do, to walk into a job of this size and retain yourself. And not bow to the pressure that is exerted on you. Not from any individual, but just from the scale of the thing. And she has brought an absolutely individual vigour and excitement, drama and comedy to the whole thing. We're really lucky to have her. And she's done that brilliantly, under a lot of pressure.
I don't think I can answer it much better than that.
Well, maybe we'll have an answer for our next question, which is actually another video question from a fan named Alexandra. Let's watch it.
For Pearl Mackie, what are you most looking forward to as a companion with the Doctor? Are you looking forward to any kind of a specific adventure, or going to a specific planet, or meeting a specific character?
Ooh. Very good question. I'd say I think I really don't want to meet the Weeping Angels. No. I mean, I'm quite blinky as a person, and I feel that it could just go horribly wrong. I think it could be really dangerous. I think maybe we should avoid them.
Don't blink.
Why are you looking at me for that? It's my professional requirement to give you the worst possible time in your life.
I think also on the back of that, I think one of the most amazing things for me so far is that, you know, every 2.5 weeks, takes about 2.5 weeks to film an episode, so every 2.5 weeks we're somewhere completely different. You know, in a completely different costume, with a completely different kind of set of rules, you know, completely different monsters, which is so exciting. That's what's been incredible for me so far, you know, just sort of everything's so different all the time. It just kind of keeps you thinking, keeps you on your toes, and yeah, keeps you working hard, man. Yeah, it's great. I love the change about it. You know, it's not like you're not wearing a corset for like 7 months.
Yeah.
It's great.
Awesome. Well, we got to pause for a break, but when we come back, we've got another special surprise. This time, it's for one of our guests. Intrigued? See you in a bit.
Now, as it goes with this series, we fans feel very sad when a companion leaves, but we get equally excited when a new one arrives. Now, Pearl, we already have heard about the secrecy surrounding your casting as Bill, but what was the actual audition like to get this role?
Well, so the audition itself, I started saying earlier, I got the phone call and was like, no, that's hilarious. All right, okay, I'll give that a go then, sure. But then when I got Steven's script through, it was a couple of scenes from the first episode, and I was like, oh, okay, I think I know this girl. But then the next scene that we read, the last one, which is the one that was used in the trailer, Pete, so we're like hiding from the Daleks, and Peter's like, do you want to come over here and lean against this wall? I was like, yeah, okay, oh, yeah, I can do this. I can do this moving around in auditions. That's cool. We leant against the wall and started the scene, and I mean, I didn't let myself think it at the time, but I think that I felt there was something kind of in the room. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's the first time I caught my breath sort of during the whole casting, but it was, there's something in the room that kind of went, oh. Everyone was like, oh, okay, maybe this works. Wow. And I mean, I don't know if that was the same for any of you guys at all, but I mean, again, maybe it was just when I first caught my breath during the entire 15 minutes. I am, it's true. Is this true? Am I really here?
It obviously went well. But that must be such a difficult thing, casting a companion, because such an important part of the series and the lore of Doctor Who, and also a gateway into the show, especially for new fans, kind of that audience avatar. So what qualities did Pearl have in that audition or on the tape that really made you sit up and say, oh, maybe this is her, Brian?
I mean, Pearl was just totally brilliant. She blew us away. I mean, she kind of grabbed that part of Bill, and we talked a lot about what we kind of wanted Bill to be, but Pearl just kind of took it, and it became very real, and it just worked brilliantly. And just feeling how Pearl was with the Doctor in those moments, it felt like, you know, we had our show there.
I know you can't give us any detailed spoilers, but what can you tell us about the arc or the adventures that Bill will go on in season 10?
So your question there, just to put it back to you, was, given that you can't answer it, here it is anyway.
It's true.
We're fans, we have to ask.
He thought he was so clever.
I spotted that.
Can you tell us anything about how we meet her, or maybe even her state of mind when we meet her, or anything about the arc?
Nothing.
Okay, fair enough.
The only thing, I'm stealing this question from Peter, but it's the only thing we're going to tell you is we really went for it in terms of making it a new episode 1. You know, like an unearthly child is, like Rose is, to really go for it and say, let's do an episode 1. So if you start the journey here, you're told everything you need to know. There's not a hell of a lot in Doctor Who, really. But it is absolutely a proper episode 1. If you start on this episode, it's a perfect journey into the world of the Doctor. That's what we went for. But it's an unusual angle we come in at, and it's an unusual relationship, and it's unusual in the way it develops. And it will remain unusual until you watch it.
Good job, that was good, though.
Thank you. That was good. You gave us enough. You gave us enough to be excited.
All right, well, before the break, we promised a little surprise for one of you, for one of our guests, and we at InnerSpace never lie. So, Pearl, the surprise is for you. It's a special message from someone you might recognize. Roll it.
Hello,
Oh, my
Pearl.
God.
Remember me? Your old drama teacher, Miss Dunn.
Whoa.
How are you? And congratulations on winning the role. We couldn't be prouder at Burntwood. We are so thrilled. And it couldn't be more deserved. I do remember you as a little Year 7 coming bounding into my drama studio, full of energy and ideas and creativity. So, congratulations, Pearl. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy for you. So, have fun in Toronto and in Canada, and hopefully when you get back to Blighty, we'd love to see you back at Burntwood. Come and visit us.
Aww.
All right, lots of love. Have fun, my darling.
So many awes in this studio. What was that like to see your teacher talking to you?
Oh my God, that was insane. Where did you find her?
We have our people.
Yeah. You must have been a good student,
that
because
was
she seems to
great.
like you. You must have been a great student.
Oh, I loved her. She was brilliant. She directed like loads of stuff that I did at secondary school. She directed me as Lady Macbeth when I was like 15.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know how good it was, but it was a long time ago. Oh, that's so nice.
Well, we do have to take another break, but before we go, we have another special video message. This one is actually for Teddy from his parole officer.
What?
I'm kidding, but when we return, we will talk about the new Doctor Who show. It's a spin-off. Class, stay with us.
Class is sort of my corner of the Whoniverse. Let's take a write about all the things that I care about in the books that I write. Young adults, the way that they live and move and believe and have their own agency and have their own point of view. And it's taking a look at the Whoniverse through that set of eyes, because I always think that's an interesting way to see an established place, is how do other people look at this, you know? We always forget that the Doctor is an alien. And when I wrote about Doctor Who before in a short story that I did, that was the whole point of the story, was sort of reminding us that, yeah, he's an alien, he's not like us. And so Class kind of came from that idea, is looking at the Whoniverse through the eyes of the people who might get left behind. Going in the first episode of Class, what you need to know is there's a new student at school. And what might he be hiding? And what might be sneaking out of the shadows there, the literal shadows? What are those lights that keep appearing in seeming tears in the air? What are those? And who is this new teacher? And why is she so awful to absolutely everybody? And if prom comes tonight at the end of the episode, are we all gonna die? We might. That's what I want you to go in with.
Welcome back, everyone. That, of course, was a clip from Patrick Ness getting us all psyched for the new series Class. But before we get to that, Steven, we got to talk about your departure. It was announced that you're moving on. Why was now the right time to leave Doctor Who and leave it in the very capable hands of Chris Chibnall?
Well, I've been doing it for a very long while. I'm actually not, I mean, this is going to be the longest attempt to leave a job in history. I'll still be doing it in a year and a bit from now.
Yeah.
A year. I mean, I've had less promising medicals. I mean, it's you know, so I'm here for loads of time. Well, just I've been doing it for so long. Someone wrote into Doctor Who magazine and said I'd written more Doctor Who's than anyone else ever. And I thought, I thought, God, really? And I sort of didn't want to be the one who'd written the most somehow. So I must have gone way past it by now. And just the desire to do other things. There is an element of, I mean, one of the things when you get this job, and anyone who's ever had this job would say the same thing, you do not want to be the last one. You don't want to be the one that crashed it into the earth. You absolutely want to hand it over just in time, before it goes off. So it was... I knew that Chris was circling. I knew that Chris had another series of Broadchurch to do. And I thought, well, you know, maybe this is the time we can hand it on to... I can hand it on to somebody that everyone at the BBC and outside the BBC will be very excited about taking it over.
And you got to be looking forward to seeing new episodes that surprise you.
Well, yes, as my memory fails frequently, old episodes surprise me anyway. But yes, it will be lovely to get back behind the sofa and not be sort of involved in it in that sense. Because it's years. I think when Russell was doing his last run, I deliberately didn't read the script for or see anything about the wonderful episode Midnight, because I'd heard how good it was, so that I could have one last hit of the show before I disappeared into the factory and knew everything. So it'll be lovely to do that. It'll also be, you know, since what with Doctor Who and Sherlock, I haven't written anything other than those two shows since 2008. It's a long time. Not bored of it, absolutely love it. I'm sure I'll be tremendously sad, bitter, probably randomly violent and regretful once I've left, and just in a storm of resentment against how much better Chris is doing it than I did. And, you know, but that's good. I'll be writing for the Times saying, you know, the BBC has lost its way, and my phone number. And it was good in the golden age of television when I was still employed. Because that's what people do once they move on. They move on, they're saying, I'm going to do new things, but they don't. They just fail more and more bitterly and more embarrassingly and develop a drink problem and probably some kind of rooftop gun siege. I don't know.
I just want to say I think Steven's contribution to Doctor Who has been absolutely extraordinary. I mean, we're all here, like, you know, to be able to fly right around the world and see all these great Doctor Who fans. We're here because of the intelligence, the sophistication, the absolute dedication Steven puts into making every single episode the best it can be. It's not just in the script, it's in the edits, the casting. He's across everything. It's like, so I just want to say a huge thank you to Steven. He is amazing.
Here, here, yeah.
And Peter, you've worked with him now for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So what's it going to be like for you saying goodbye?
Well, I don't think I will say goodbye to him.
Good.
You know, I hope I'll always know him. He's great company, as you can see. He's hilarious, he's intelligent, he's smart, he's clever, and he's probably the most gifted writer that we have working in television at the moment. So I hope that we're going to continue our relationship and continue working together in some way.
Cool.
Well, you are already, as we can turn back to class. I mean, Brian and Steven, you're both working on this. So what can you tell us about what we can expect from this brand new Doctor Who spin-off series?
So it's a big new series. It's been created by Patrick Ness, who's an extraordinary kind of young adult author and writer. He's written all 8 episodes, and it's about the adventures of these kind of 4 teenage heroes and what they go through having to battle what kind of alien menace and threats come through the kind of rifts and tears in time in Coal Hill School. It's kind of a very kind of new and different look on kind of how we can tell stories in the Doctor Who universe. It's very much its own show. It's not trying to be mini Doctor Who. It's and we're really excited about it. The cast are extraordinary. The stories are amazing, and yeah, it's just great to have, you know, more Doctor Who world stories out there.
Absolutely.
Well, lucky me, I was in New York recently, and I met up with the cast of Class. So take a look, and we'll be right back after the break.
Class is like a sort of melting pot of teenage life and then intergalactic activity. And like, it's because it's a pot, so it's all in the same place. Everything's going on in the same place, as opposed to Doctor Who, where it's like a TARDIS of activity. So you're going different places, you just stay.
And what I love about like what you guys have been saying is that normally the Doctor comes and, you know, he helps us save, but he's just in and he's out and he lets us deal with the mess, which is really cool. He never normally does that, and he leaves it to us little kids.
Speaking with 4 very special guests about all things Doctor Who. So let's continue.
And they've been very good at deflecting questions that might spoil certain aspects, but we gotta ask, especially being big monster fans,
Can you tease us as to any adversaries that we might expect in season 10? We're gonna see any like familiar villains? Are we gonna see any awesome new ones that you can tell us anything about?
I expect there will be both of those.
We did see a Dalek in the tease, though, right? We saw a Dalek, so we can assume that the Dalek...
You can assume all you want, man.
All right. We're getting nothing else on that. Well, another big part and a really important part and a very fun part of Doctor Who mythology is, of course, the Christmas special. And we know we're going to get one, of course, at Christmas. It's always such kind of a fun touchstone of the year. What can you tell us about that special? We know we're going to see Matt Lucas again in it, right?
Yeah, you're going to see Matt Lucas. You're going to see Justin Chapman, who's Canadian. I mentioned that because, you know, he's... And we're doing a superhero story. There's a superhero. We have a superhero. It's Justin. Justin is Canadian, therefore a superhero.
Yes!
It's obviously the way you go.
It's a wonderful, wonderful script.
Yeah.
And it's very evocative of the sort of Christopher Reeve Superman movies, which were quite kind of funny and light-hearted, but at the same time quite, you know, you could believe a man could fly and all that stuff, and sweet. And I think it's a brilliant script. And Justin's been fabulous playing the hero. So I hope people are going to really enjoy it. It's a very Christmassy thing because it feels a little bit like, you know, when they used to put your favourite films on Christmas Day?
Yeah.
It feels like we've made a favourite film, you know, that you're going to see.
Well, we're gonna take another quick break, but stick around because we've got more coming up with the Doctor Who crew afterwards.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, we are almost out of time, but before we go, one final question for our guests. What do you really want fans to take away most from the upcoming season of Doctor Who from season 10? What do you hope they most take away from it?
I think that after 53 years, it remains the most compulsive, exciting, dazzling, and wonderful show that there is on television.
And Steven, what do you hope people take away from this upcoming season?
The desire to give me a job. A certain fond nostalgia, thinking, is that him at the end of the street raving? Someone should take pity. Pity, I think. Pity is what I'm looking for.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a really big treat for us. We're such Whovians, everyone in the audiences and watching at home. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Hi, guys. How's it going?